you consider this? We've gone to the dogs again. And she says, ho hum, that's Sadie. And this is her mom, Jenny Lapke. And we're going to hear all about Sadie's story and the Good Dog Training Academy. But first of all, I want to know more about Jenny Lapke. You were studying to be a pediatrician.
I was, and then I figured out that, you know, I really enjoyed behavior modification, and I've always loved dogs. And so I either wanted to work with kids or dogs, and then, you know, I'm really glad that it took me the dog route.
Okay. Well, now, you grew up here.
I did,
And your
yes.
mom's a pediatrician,
Yes.
retired now.
Yep.
But then, so how did you then go from medical school to dog school?
Well, so in college, I fell into training service dogs quite by accident.
Mm-hmm.
I found a group on campus, Paws Giving Independence,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to Bradley, and so I thought it was a therapy dog group and was just wanting to go see puppies, and you know, always a good thing.
Right.
But so I really fell in love with training service dogs, and fostered our first service dog in training, Tilly, and she didn't make it as a service dog, but she's still around and she still lives with us.
Okay. Now, why didn't she make it?
She's nervous.
All right. Well, you know, just like people, we are all different.
Absolutely, and it doesn't. And not all dogs make it. Most dogs don't make it as a service dog.
Well, that's tough, because when you're getting attention and you have to ignore that attention, that must be pretty tough for them.
Absolutely. So Sadie was actually in training to be a service dog as well, but she likes to bark.
Oh, okay.
And so we don't quite want that as a service dog. But it works out great because now she is a therapy dog. So we go to different places like Almost Home Kids and different reading groups. And we're actually going to Bradley for an event tomorrow. And so we get to meet people that way, and she gets to show off her tricks that way.
All right. Well, she's pretty sweet. Now, she's also, she has been in some productions.
She has.
Locally.
Yes.
She's been in Annie, yes, and you have your own little bio in here, too, and you give out autographs.
She
See,
does.
We've got a little autograph right here on the bottom of this, yeah. Well, she had a little help with that autograph.
She did, yes. But that is her actual paw print.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we had a stamp made of her paw print.
That's little. But she, so how do you train her then for those specific roles when she's on stage or doing whatever?
So it depends on what exactly is required of her. With Annie, she had to form a really good bond with Violet, who is her Annie, or Reagan, who is an Annie Jr. with her. And so what it really accounted to was Violet was the only one giving her treats,
Okay.
especially at the beginning. And so I really kind of taught Violet, okay, here's what we're going to reinforce for. Here's what we want Sadie to do. And so Violet became my dog trainer. And so she had to work with being a dog trainer and singing and performing at the same time. But Sadie found that she really loved Violet and would look for her every time we got to the theater.
Oh,
so that was
sweet.
so sweet.
Sweet. Now, she's also been in some national commercials.
She has.
Because they have a dog talent agency?
They do. They have multiple dog talent agencies. And so Sadie's been in commercials for some dog treats and then for a Purina type of food. So yeah, those are really fun, especially the dog treat one was her favorite because she got to sample the treats, of course.
So how does she audition for that? So
we submit a video. There's a casting call, and they usually there's a specific look that they want the dog to have. So they're not going to cast her if they want a golden retriever.
Right.
You know, she doesn't look like one of those.
Not even close.
Nope. Or if they want a Chihuahua, it's not Sadie either. But so they also list out what they want the dog to do. So most recently there was a casting call where they wanted the dog to cuddle with the actor.
Okay.
And so we submit a video of her essentially doing this.
All right.
And we'll use friends and that type of thing to simulate strangers and that type of thing. And then we get the call of...
She does a good job.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to puppyhood. You want to talk about
boy.
puppies? Yeah, I'm getting a bad look now right now. I'm an old dog. How do you stop? How do you train? Because you have to do every level of everything. potty training, housebreaking. I used bells on the door.
Yeah.
But that was, and it worked. But is that like the standard?
It depends on the dog. I love to use bells. However, we had a dog who used the bells beautifully, but she started equating the bells with dinner.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because she went outside right before.
Okay.
And so then she started to ring the bells like more at 3:30.
Okay, because I want food now.
Exactly.
Okay.
But we're not going to have dinner at 3:30.
Well,
But
you might not, but some of us may.
you know. So what we do is we want to keep them on a consistent schedule. If we feed them on a consistent schedule, then their potty habits are going to be on a more consistent schedule. And I also really like to think of it as I take them out when there are transitions happening. So when they're transitioning from nap to play, or
Well, we all have to go to the bathroom after a nap.
absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Or if they are going from room to room and they are deciding then that they want to, we're going to go out for a walk, or we're going to go, do some training, or we're going to go play with something new. Then I may think, okay, now's a great time to go take the dog out to go potty. And puppies can hold their bladder for about an hour per month old they are.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting to know.
Yeah, so it's kind of a nice guideline of
How often they have to
how
go out.
often, and sometimes I'll even set a timer on my phone depending on the puppy, but usually they also start to move away from the human when they have to go potty. They want to move away from where they eat, sleep, and play.
So you have to pay attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, how about chewing and getting your slippers and
Oh,
getting
those
your
are
glasses
fun.
or the kids' retainers
Yes,
or something?
And those are even more high-ticket items because they smell like you.
Okay.
Right? And so what we like to have a lot of options for the dog that are appropriate. And when they have something that isn't appropriate, I like to trade. So I will trade for treats, or I'll trade for a toy. So I make the toy super exciting by moving it all around, or I will start a little pile of treats on the ground.
Okay.
And
Hansel and Gretel style.
Kind of. I kind of just make a little pile.
Oh, okay.
And so then the dog is like, oh, what is that?
That's much more interesting.
It is. And then because it's on the ground, gravity is going to help us. So they drop whatever's in their mouth and then they get their treats.
Okay.
And so then they're going to start to come to you like, oh my goodness, when I hear that trade word, I'm coming to you instead of running away and making it a game of chase.
So this is not just something, yes, you were learning when you were doing Paws for Independence, but you had to have specific special training. You've trained with some of the best.
I have, yes. So I am a Karen Pryor Academy certified training partner. And so some of my training mentors worked with and trained with marine mammals at the Shedd Aquarium, or the elephants and all of those animals at the Brookfield Zoo. And so they've trained worldwide. And so all of the same principles apply in dog training as they do to learning for everybody else. So humans and elephants and all of that, you can't really make an elephant do something you don't want them to do.
Right.
And so we want to make it fun for the animal, as well as the human in the dog training world. So we want to get it so that the animal really is invested and really wants to participate.
And so you'll go into homes and work with people and their dogs. How do you make the differentiation between you doing the teaching and whoever is their human?
So it depends, but a lot of the time I may demo something with the dog, and then I will teach the human how to do it.
Okay.
So a lot of the times it really is more teaching the human what to do, because it doesn't matter if they do it for me. I'm not the one living with the dog.
Right.
I really want to make it so that it's easy for you to live with your dog. Because if it's not easy, you're not going to do it. Neither would I.
Yeah, it's not going to be any fun for you or the dog.
Right.
Right, okay. Now, so let's get back to our star here. She also got to go up to be with the Cubs
She
at one
did,
point.
yes, in August. She did a photo shoot with Gray Mallon, who's an international photographer, and the Cubs. And so that was so fun. She got to, we got to be on the field, in the dugout, inside the scoreboard.
Wow.
And it
You
was,
didn't teach her how to change any of the numbers on the scoreboard?
no, they're a little too big.
Okay. So you have to get just her size, right?
Right,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
And they're metal, so that makes it a little harder.
I guess.
But yeah, and it was crazy because we had to do all of the basic things, like a sit, and we did some more advanced things like holding items. But it was at Wrigley Field, so there were all the sounds of Chicago going on.
Sure.
And they were doing construction, and there was they were even practicing for the air show.
Oh my.
So there was a
Wow.
lot going on, so we had to really work on her focus.
I guess, yeah. So what has been your biggest challenge in this new career that you have chosen? I mean, have you had any major failures?
No, I don't think anything is a failure because
Okay.
we can always learn from it. But there are some times where it's just trickier than others, and we really have to. There's no one set way to get from point A to point B. Sometimes we just have to get creative, and if it doesn't work this way, we'll try to go around it.
And you learned that when you're in school through this Karen Pryor program?
Yeah.
How to redirect.
Yes.
Okay.
And really, I've learned that even through the nursing and all of the medical stuff as well, of really just talking to people and, okay, we may not get there this way, but we'll see if we can try it this way, see if
right.
we can approach it a different way.
All right. So now, do you also do some group training? All
I
right.
do.
And where do you do that?
I do group classes out of Play All Day over in East Peoria.
Okay.
And so we have small groups, so the max is 6 dogs, and so then everybody can get that individual attention. But we still have the other dogs in there, so we can have distraction.
We can learn how to get along with others.
Yes.
So in a situation like that, do you make sure that they're all kind of the same size, or do you range in from Chihuahua, Shih Tzu to Great Dane?
Definitely range in size. My class on Monday nights, we have a Rottweiler, and then we have a little puppy mix.
Okay.
And
I love mutts too.
yes, me too. And so what we do is I teach them pretty much how to look at something and then look back to their owner. So then they see the dog, but that becomes the cue to look back to their owner of, oh, okay, what are we doing?
Oh, got it.
And so they're not so focused on the other dog because sometimes they just get too excited. There is time and all to play and interact, but we want to do that in a safe way.
So back to the human. So you have 2 people in a household.
Yep.
And one is the main human. How do you teach them to pay attention to the other one in the house, or whatever? Or is that very confusing for them?
Most of the time, as long as the humans are on the same page, then the dog figures it out pretty well. So if you give consistent cues, like if we call a sit, then things work out really well. Now, it doesn't have to be called sit. It could be called blue. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. But we want to make sure that we're reinforcing for the things that you like and then not reinforcing for the things that you don't like.
How many words should a dog, just any dog, recognize or yeah, I guess recognize is the best word.
Well, so I actually just read a study recently that they know so much more than we expect, and the more you talk to your dog, the more they're going to know, kind of like kids.
Very smart,
Yep.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hate to wake her up. She looks so comfortable, but let's go see what she can do, tire her out.
Okay, great.
So we'll be right back. We got to transition a little bit here. Well, brought a little field trip over here just across the studio so that we could see Sadie perform. So Jenny, where do we start?
Okay, well, Sadie's absolute favorite trick is her mailbox.
Okay.
So we're going to see what she does with that.
Okay.
Can you get the mail?
And these are letters from Santa.
Oh,
Or
yes.
to Santa.
Good job. So we use this in her Jolly Holiday show.
Okay.
So she went and got a letter. Good job, Sadie. And then I also brought her mark. So this is another thing that we used a lot in the theater. And so what I'm going to do, she knows to put her paws on it.
Okay.
Good job.
Good girl, yeah.
So I'm going to put my treat right on there. I'm going to stick our little letter in here, and then I'm going to bring Sadie over here. You already did that.
But isn't there another letter to Santa, Mommy?
Only one letter. I'm sorry. Go mark.
All right.
Good.
So, okay, those are tricks as you go along. What are
Yes.
the very first things that you teach a dog to get their attention? Because sometimes they don't pay attention.
Absolutely. So one of my favorite things is just reinforcing for when they're watching us.
Okay.
So like Sadie's doing right now, I'm going to mark with a yes and then give her a treat. And it's just a little piece of a treat, so she gets a taste of it. My other favorite thing is a nose touch. So I'm going to put my hand out. She's going to touch her nose to my hand.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
But this works great for working on walking politely next to you. It works for greeting people, and it works for fun tricks like spin and stuff like that. So let's try that with you and see if she will come greet you politely.
Okay.
Go get it. I'm gonna pick up her mark so she doesn't go get it.
She wants that letter.
She does. Yep. So you're just gonna put your hand out. Go touch. Touch. Yes. So
Well, it was close.
it was close.
But
yes.
but now, was she ever a jumper?
A little bit. At home, when she gets super excited, she can be a jumper.
All right.
And so I'm just going to reinforce for her just having 4 paws on the floor. It's easier to catch them when they're doing things right, rather than wait for them to do things that you
say the N-O word.
exactly
Right,
things that you wouldn't prefer them to do, and it's really much easier for them to maintain that calmer disposition.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready? Let's see. We can even start with her. If I have a dog that's going to come in. Oop. Come on, Sadie. Yeah. Good. So as she's coming towards me, I'm going to mark with a yes and then treat. So we reinforce that. In some dogs, I may have to reinforce where they're halfway across the room.
Oh, okay.
They're going to have 4 paws on the floor at some point. And so just the mechanisms of jumping. And so we're going to take that for what it is and really reinforce that.
Okay.
Good job. Can you spin? Good. Touch. Yes. Okay. Let's see.
Now you do something without her leash on as well.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's see.
So she's used to being with me, and so I've reinforced for her being with me too. And so we'll see if she will take her leash for me. Can you get your leash? Thank you. Good job, Sadie.
So you're going to teach her to get bottles of water out of the fridge like that one commercial or whatever.
Absolutely,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. The only trick is you have to make sure the water is on the right shelf, and there's nothing like hot dogs or string cheese around there too to distract.
Okay. Strictly water. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now what else is
What
is
else
on
do you
her
want to
menu?
do? Let's see. Do you want to spin? Good job. Can you weave? Good. Oh, we're gonna sniff.
Well, there's something over there. Yeah.
Good job.
There's all kinds of things to sniff in
There
the world.
is, absolutely. And so even like on walks, I deal with this as well with a lot of dogs. And so I'm just going to reinforce her for paying attention to me, and then we're going to keep going.
So how is she when there's another dog coming toward her when you're taking her for a walk?
So what we do with that is I get her attention on me, but I also will reinforce for her watching the other dog or person, because she likes to see other people, but she gets sometimes a little excited. So
Okay. With people and dogs?
yes.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So when she sees somebody, I may mark as long as she's quiet, and then give her a treat with that too.
Okay. Looks like that treat went on the side of her
Oh.
mouth for a while, but
Oh,
I think she got it.
You got it?
Yeah, she did.
Got it?
All
You want
right.
to do something fun? Here's another one of your favorites. Ready? Selfie.
Aw.
Yes. Can you switch?
Oh.
Good job. I'm going to get a nice close-up of that sound of that treat.
Yeah. Are you going to eat the microphone too?
Maybe. Can you jump? Nope. No jumping today? Spin. Oh, let's try this one. Down. Oh, and so she's not feeling a down today? That's okay.
All right.
I'm going to see what she will do do something a little easier. Yes. Mark for that, and then we'll try the down again.
Okay.
Let's see. Down. Oh, there's a big stretch.
Oh, good. I feel that way too.
There we go. So now we're in the down, and I will reinforce that.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you want to cross your paws? Chris, cross.
Oh,
Good.
so sweet.
Can you sit? Can you wave? Yeah. Good job. Chin. Very nice. Are you shy?
Oh.
Yes. Good job.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. All right.
Good job. Oh, you're still shy.
She's still
Thank
shy.
you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Come on. Come on.
So how long did it teach you to train her those things, and how long just for a pet to be able to do these things?
So it depends on what level of training you're wanting. So that shy at the end, some dogs will pick it up right away. Sadie, it took her longer. It took us probably about a year to get that.
Okay.
But for basic sits and downs and things like that, they're offering those behaviors a lot during the day. So you can make the process go a lot faster by just reinforcing throughout the day. So it could be that I teach a dog how to sit within, and where they get it within a day or two.
All right.
But
all dogs are different.
They are, and it's different when we have different distractions. So if I could get my dog to do a down in the living room at home, that looks different to the dog than if I try to do it in the kitchen or if I try to do it outside.
All right.
Dogs think in pictures, so it's really different. So if I'm working with Sadie right here, this looks different to her than if I turn it even this way.
Okay, I get it. Well, so different environments, they adjust.
Yes.
Because again, you said, so they just kind of categorize, okay, this works here, this works here. What if you're not home during the day? And what if there's family members around, kids running around? How does that work?
Sometimes it's a little chaotic,
All right.
but they really start to learn about what is reinforcing for them. So sometimes it is the play with the kids and stuff like that, or running around that game of chase. That can be really reinforcing to the dog and to the kids.
Okay.
But we can still reinforce. Usually I like to do about 5-minute sessions a day or at a time, and then take a break because we want this to be easy.
Right, and it's fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, learning should be fun.
Absolutely fun for the dog and for the human.
Now, what if she does something wrong? Then, again, you don't want to correct her, you want to reinforce good behavior, so what if she does something wrong? Then how do you
So as long as
discipline
everybody's
her?
safe, I just kind of ignore it and try to change the environment so then she is successful the next time.
Okay.
So let's say she were to jump on me. Come on. Are you going to do it? Come on, up. So now I did cue her to do that, but if she were to jump, I might ask her to come off and then invite her into me again. Come here, Sadie.
Well, but wait, I heard a camera.
Come on, yes. And so I give her a second chance.
All right.
And then I'm reinforcing a little bit earlier so that she is successful.
Okay, awesome. Well, she's such a good girl, Sadie girl.
Go see.
Hello. No, she says Mommy has the
Here,
treat.
let me give
don't.
you the treat.
All right, can you sit?
Very
Oh,
nice.
Good girl.
And I bet she'll even give you her paw.
Can you give me your paw?
Paw.
Shake.
Oh, we're going
Paw.
to give a chin.
All right.
There you go. Good.
Okay, well, she did such a good job. You did it. You're doing a good job too. Oop, down. Okay.
There we go.
Thanks for being here.
Thank
Thanks for sharing
you.
Sadie's story and letting other people know that it's possible. It can be done.
It absolutely can.
So thanks, Jenny, for joining us, and Sadie, of course. And thank you all for being with us. Stay warm and be well.